Hello, 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 and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jen, and today I want to talk about 5 revelations specifically for empaths that will help to change your life for the better. So, as an empath, you've probably thought about these things before. You've probably had these realizations before, or you've at least had them cross your mind as a thought. It really doesn't matter how much in depth you've gone with these or not, but these are important things. And once they hit you in the form of a revelation or an epiphany, it's really kind of difficult to forget about this stuff. So I'm hoping that if you have maybe just realized that you're an empath, or if you know you're an empath and you're trying to find ways to make it easier, because it is extremely different, challenging. I don't want to say difficult, because there are ways to, I guess, harness your skills and make sure that you are strong enough to handle everything that comes your way, I guess. But it takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of self-care. It takes a lot of daily practice for whatever habits you have. So, and I'm still a work in progress. By all means, I'm no expert or anything, but these are just revelations that I've had, especially over the past several months, 12 months to be exact, almost exactly 12 months actually. And it has really, really helped me to take these to heart and to remember them as I struggle through my daily life, and hopefully don't freak out at traffic, or hopefully don't have a panic attack because I'm in a crowd at a store, or whatever it might be. You know what I mean? Because too many people are just, it's just too much. There was a time period of several years where I barely left my house. A big part of that was because of being an empath. Another big part of that was because I was very, very overweight. I weighed almost 300 pounds, if not 300 pounds at one point. I refused to step on the scale for a long time. So, having said that, these are all things that I have realized along my journey that are extremely important. The first and foremost and most important being that your emotions are important. Your emotions are valid. Okay. Now, many of us as empaths grew up with the impression that emotions are bad. Emotions make you weak. Emotions make you a crybaby. Emotions make you a drama queen or overly sensitive, or whatever names that your parental units or siblings or classmates or whoever would choose. You know, it's typically very similar for most of us. So if you were told that you're overly sensitive and that you're too emotional and that you're too dramatic and you're overreacting all the time and blah, 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 well, then there's a good chance that you're an empath. And I'm here to tell you that your emotions, you're way ahead of the game, man. You are way ahead of the game. Most of these people, they're floundering around, burying and stuffing down their emotional guidance system, which is exactly what your emotions are there for, to guide you, to make sure that, to help you recognize when you're on the right track, right? So if you're feeling good about something, if you have strong intuition about someone, you know, trust yourself on it. You're probably right. Don't doubt yourself. Don't let the negative influences that have been drilling into your head for years or even your entire life dictate how you live your life, right? Your emotions matter, and they are your guidance system, period. So you don't have to hide As a matter of fact, there are many of us out there, and if you can find your tribe, that's going to be very helpful. So that was number one. Your emotions matter. Don't allow anybody to diminish them. And even if you do, even if you're like in the process of getting away from the people who diminish your emotions, don't allow that to make you feel like your emotions are invalidated. Other people can think whatever the hell they want, but you should know, and you should very much be aware that your emotions matter. And you should put them first, because they matter a lot. They matter a lot, you know? Number two, the second revelation that has helped me to become a better person as an empath is that habits are contagious over time and repeated exposure. And these are thought habits as well as behavior habits, as well as self-talk habits, gossiping habits, everything. Cleaning habits or not cleaning habits, eating habits, you know, anything, any habit that someone has can rub off on other people. And that means you too. So any habit that you have can rub off on somebody. The problem is for empaths, for us, we tend to be more concerned with what other people are thinking and feeling rather than being concerned with what we are thinking and feeling. And that is where our priority needs to be, is with what we are thinking and feeling. Other people are none of our business. So back to the habits one really fast. Have you ever noticed when you get like 2, 3, 4, maybe 3 or more younger children together, right? And they're playing together for a while. And then they separate again. But suddenly each one of these young children has picked up on all of the other kids' bad habits and vice versa. All of them literally will. It's like they trade notes or something. You know what I mean? Like, oh, hey, I've never done that in front of my mom. Maybe I should try that because I wonder how she'll react. I wonder if I get in trouble as much as you do. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's actually what happens or not, but that's what it seems like, you know? So you get a bunch of kids together and they exchange habits. Their habits rub off on each other. It seems to be especially prominent with bad habits. But adults are the same way. Most of us, or most adults, are just not aware of this happening, which is kind of unfortunate, because what I've noticed, what I was just thinking about the other day, and what I've noticed, one of the things I've noticed, is that with many adults, they end up being stuck in their ego by default, because everyone is so worried about what they should be doing that they forget about what they want to be doing. And the recipe for a miserable life is basically to focus on what you should be doing rather than what you want to be doing. So the idea is to combine what you want to be doing with whatever that should be doing is supposed to create, that what you want to be doing will create. In most cases, it's money. You know what I mean? That's a whole other video. I'm going to talk about the money thing. So habits are contagious. And if you aren't careful, you can begin to show personality traits of other people simply because you are an empath. I'm not sure how many other people this happens to, but I know for me, I kind of tend to pick up on other people's little quirks, um, be it quirky laughter or behavior or, like a little habit, you know what I mean? Like I pick up on little things from other people that way. Sayings, especially, it seems to be especially bad with, or especially prominent if I'm talking or if I'm laughing or if it's some kind of other auditory thing. But I'm not 100% sure if that's because I'm an empath or if that's because I was an army brat and have had to be basically a chameleon my whole life. And fit in, adapt or die, right? So if you guys have any input on that, please feel free to say so in the comments. I don't know if it got that. My computer's doing something, and so the video might be recording a little funny. But if you have anything to add about that, please feel free to say so in the comments. I would greatly appreciate it. So the third revelation that will help you better your life as an empath is that other people are none of our business. Other people are none of your business. There's, you have to prioritize. And I have been extremely confronted with this through various different life situations, okay? Especially over the last several months. It's so easy to get sucked in. It's so easy to get sucked into everybody else's fucking problems, and it sucks. It sucks. I don't like it. I really don't. And one of the most important things that I have come to realize over, well, probably more prominently over the last couple of months, maybe the last like 3 months or so, is that I have to stop putting everybody else first. Now, prioritizing relationships can be a little tricky. So it's important to do it with your emotions and your well-being and your energy levels in mind. Other people are none of your business. So really, it comes down to you do you and I'll do me. And all that pops into my head after that is Markiplier. But you get the point. You know what I mean? Just let them worry about them and you worry about you. You know what I mean? I'm going to worry about me. You worry about you. You know? Number 4, the fourth revelation that will help you to better your life as an empath is about contrast. Also known as challenges or life shitting on you or everything that can go wrong will go wrong or whatever name you want to give it. Although I prefer contrast because whatever so-called negative you experience, you either have or will. Chances are it's will because of law of attraction and you're always moving forward. You're never going backwards. You know what I mean? You either have or will, probably will, experience so-called positive things that are equal or greater to, right? Because it's balance. It's a universal law, is balance, you know? So, those challenges, that contrast, and I have more videos about this, but that contrast, those things that maybe seem like they're too much or where you question whether you can get through it or not, all of it happens for a reason. All of it is guiding you to something bigger, something better, something much, much, much bigger. And I know this because I've been going through a lot of contrast, and I have gone through this cycle in the past before. Although my desire that I put out into the universe, my ask, was not nearly as big as it was this last time, and I'm still going through contrast. So right now, literally, everything is falling apart to make room for the better stuff to come in, right? And I am recording these videos during the process because I would like to show the world what the actual story looks like, not just, oh, hey, maybe I'll tell my story in hindsight now that everything's great and I have $10 million. You know what I mean? Fuck that. No, I'm going to do this now. I'm going to do this now because I have unwavering faith. I have no idea how it's going to happen. I'm not concerned with the how. What I'm concerned with is about doing things like this video, that will help people. And money should be a byproduct of it. That's my opinion. That is the law of exchange. That's kind of how the world works. And yes, you have to do some of the work in advance, but it is what it is, right? So contrast being what it is, it's kind of like pressure, right? And when you take a lump of coal and you put it under pressure over time, it becomes a diamond, doesn't it? So imagine the greatness that is you under pressure over time, and what immense and beautiful strength that will cultivate and draw out from your spirit if you let it. It's not easy, but it does serve a higher purpose, and it does serve a very good purpose. So if you can, don't fall prey, don't fall victim to the negative emotions of it, if you can. If you find yourself going through a lot of contrast, if you find yourself going through a really hard time, there are empath groups that you can reach out to on Facebook. And if you would like 15 minutes of free coaching with me, that's a thing that I'm starting. I'm literally just starting it. But 15 minutes are free if you need somebody to talk to. And at that point, if you would like to return and talk some more, then I can, send you an invoice or what have you. But yeah, it can be ridiculous. Ridiculous is the word of the year. That brings me to number 5. The 5th revelation that will help you change your life if you're an empath, better your life, is to realize that your people, the like-minded and supportive people that you need, that you absolutely have to have in your life, will find you. They will find you sooner or later. However, the unsupportive relationships, the ones that are maybe not so good for you, the ones that are toxic, they will start to fall apart because your vibration, your energy, the self-worth that you have, the things that you're willing to put up with get diminished because you're not willing to put up with much anymore. But once you're kind of going through this process, if your relationships start falling apart, then it may actually be a good sign. It may actually be a sign that your life is about to get much, much better and much, much easier simply because your tribe is finding you. And hey, if your tribe hasn't found you yet, then maybe I'm part of your tribe and that's why you're watching this video, right? So if you think that's the case, go ahead and feel free to reach out to me if you need anything. You can go ahead and email me. My email address is j.c.johnson@hotmail.com. Exactly the way it sounds, which I am not going to put in the description because I don't want to get too much spam. So if you do want to reach out to me, though, that's a good address to do it. I try to check my email at least every other day or so, which will increase in frequency here very quickly now that the kids are back in school. Ha ha ha. I hope that this helps you in some way. I know that when I started, I'm going through a spiritual awakening process. And when I started going through this, one of the things that hit me is that I am an empath. And I had to kind of relearn myself and relearn. And it was amazing because so many things made so much more sense once I started doing research into it, and once I started really embracing being an empath. And then if you feel like you've come across this because of that, or if you've come across this because you feel like you're having a spiritual awakening or experiencing the ascension, then go ahead and continue on YouTube. You will learn so much. YouTube is basically my resource right now, because if it wasn't for certain channels and certain people that I follow, then I would be totally lost. I would be completely lost. This whole entire thing, it's wow. That's the best way I can describe it. So yeah, anyway, before I go on like crazy tangents, I hope that everyone's having a fantastic week, and yeah, I'll talk to you again soon. The next video is going to be coming up here pretty soon, and I'm going to be talking about how to prioritize your relationships as an empath and what kind of questions you should ask yourself in order to do so. So stay tuned for that one. That one's up next, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks.